Welcome in. Happy Wednesday. You have found the Everything Buckeye Nation show as we are always here Wednesday night 6:30. That's Corey Boyd. I'm Jake Smith. Welcome in. The Buckeyes are fresh off a 29-point beatdown over the rival Wolverines. Oh, it is a beautiful day to be a Buckeye as always, but today and this past week especially. Corey, my man, how are you feeling?
You know, migraines couldn't keep me out of this show today. Was dealing with them for the past couple of days. You know what? I told y'all last week, I said it. They're going to hate me. I don't want to hear it no more. Stick to field hockey, basketball, lacrosse, water polo, whatever sport they can make up. I don't want to hear nothing about football. No more excuses. Shut up. Shallop. Whatever language you can put shut up, put it in the comments. I'm done hearing about Michigan football. I am done. Benito, new whatever coach, Tressel, Meyer, Day, it don't matter. Butt whoopings, take them. Yes, sir. We're going to talk about that game a lot. I'm just getting started.
I tell you what, man, it's a good feeling. A lot of people in the comments section already want to shout out everybody who has joined the show. Clyde Boyd, of course, Alejandro Lopez, big game for you this weekend against LSU. How are you feeling, Mr. Lopez? Let us know. Corey Shoemaker says, Ryan Day, for God. I tell you, he's done a hell of a job. I'm just going to leave it at that. Chris Lyons, Kyle Barr, Travis Napper, Jude Toussaint. What's up, Jude? Appreciate everybody. I see my buddy Brady is in the show as well. Man, I tell you what, we were a little nervous going in, as we always are, but we settled in. Of course, they made it a game for the first half. Then we pull away. Then they make it a little bit closer, and then we just pull away again. Seems to happen every year. Man, oh man. 8 in a row. What is it, 15 of 16 now? I tell you what, man. What were your initial impressions of that game? Now that we've had a couple days to digest, we'll get into the playoff rankings and everything here in a few, but the beatdown of the Wolverines, 56-27, is the only thing on my mind right now, and it probably will be for a while. What did you think about the game?
My initial reactions were that our defense struggled in the beginning. First half, they didn't look strong. Had me a little nervous. They were making Shea Patterson look like the next coming of somebody. I didn't know who. I was like, whoa, he's looking a little too good for me. Now, I know Wade was out. I understand that, but still. Shea Patterson's not that good. I'm saying no excuses. He looks too good to me. I'm like, what is this? That had me a little worried because we're going to face better quarterbacks if we're going to aspire to be champions. Because here at Ohio State, that's what we aspire to be, champions. You know, the team up north knows nothing about that. Evidently, they don't know what champions aspire to be. But that's what we're going for, is a championship. So, but that made me a little nervous with Shea Patterson. He looked good in the first half. I'm not going to lie. I can't sugarcoat it. He looked darn good in the first half, but we know Ryan Day, and what can I say? Whatever he said in halftime, I don't know what he said, but he must have said what I was thinking. What the hell is this Shea Patterson stuff? Huh? What the hell's going on? And then the second half happened. What was he, like 4? What was it, 4 for 24 or something like that?
I heard 4. Yeah, I mean, I heard 3 of 22 and I heard 4 of 24. Damn.
Yeah. And then the second half, we clamped down on defense. The offense just, you said it, they just took over. I mean, can we say enough about J.K. Dobbins at this point?
I don't think so. I don't think we can say enough.
The guys, we praise Fields enough, and we're going to get to him. But J.K. Dobbins, I mean, my freaking goodness. I mean, he even fumbles the ball to himself. I mean, is there anything else the man can't do? He was playing basketball, all right?
His first carry. Goodness. Had me worried.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. All seriousness, I was scared when he did that. I said, oh my God, really? We're fumbling again? But other than that, the man played flawless football. J.K. freaking Dobbins, as Gus Johnson would say, J.K. all day. I mean, he was impressive. Listen, I wish he would come back and go after Archie's record, but that's just me.
He'd break it.
Yeah.
He would, but I don't see him going. I'm happy for him. But yeah, man, I mean, 211 rushing yards. He added on 49 receiving yards. Only player in the history of the rivalry to put up a stat line like that. 260 total yards and 4 touchdowns. Bro, on his last touchdown from like 35 yards out, my guy dunked on him. Did you see that? Jumped into the end zone, dunking the football on the Wolverines, like crossing the plane. Man, JK. He was just a workhorse, man. This is what he's asked for all season. I think he had 31 carries, 211 yards. Last week against Penn State, he had 34 carries, something like that, 36 carries maybe. Just feed the man, dude. I tell you.
Yeah.
260 and 4 scores. My God, dude. J.K. Dobbins is just shredding defenses. And good ones, too. It's not like he's putting up these crazy numbers against slack Division II teams. Look what he did against Sparty, Wisconsin, Penn State, now the Wolverines. I mean, now we get a rematch with Wisconsin. And just to add a little bit more fuel to his fire, just about an hour ago, Jonathan Taylor was named the best Big Ten. He got the running back award in the Big Ten. They gave it to Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor, hell of a back. I'm not saying he's not. But you know that's going to piss JK off. And we're going to see him run roughshed, I think, on the Badgers on Saturday.
Yeah. Reading some comments here. Corey says, free Myles Garrett. There's nobody going to beat Ohio State, says Robert. Looking on YouTube. Chris Canny says, whoop, Michigan who? Why are you talking LSU? They better beat Georgia. Chris says, we definitely need our entire secondary healthy. And Day makes great second half adjustments. And Cheryl says, hope you're feeling better, Corey. Thanks, Mama. Glad to see the Buckeyes win, taking down Michigan again over on YouTube.
Appreciate everybody over on YouTube. If you are watching on Facebook, we've been told our YouTube stream looks better, sounds nicer. Feel free to check that out. And while you do, hit that subscribe button. It's free. You don't have to pay for it. But a lot of great points there. Somebody said, why are you talking LSU? One of our guy, Alejandro Lopez, has been a big fan of this show for a long time. Always tunes in. Big Georgia guy, so like to shout him out. He said with the way they played last week, he's feeling a little nervous. You got a shot at the playoff, man. That's all you can ask for. I'll get to a few comments in here as well. Chris Lyons said, made Michigan our bitch again. That's a classic. Brad Kerner says, sup, fellas. What's up, Brad? Appreciate you. Josie Peralt, watching from Fort Campbell, Kentucky. That's what's up. Let us know where you're watching from, Buckeye Nation. Our guy, Olin Bradley, what's up? How about the Buckeyes? Life is good. And Los Dos says it's not a rivalry. My guy Brady says always got support. Hang loose. He's down there in the Sunshine State. I would say fighting the good fight. Not the biggest Buckeye fan, but that's okay. I'll let it slide this time.
Also in the comment, my guy Chris Facebook says, will our resident Bama fan, William Dunn. I want to know where William is at, Mr. Alabama. He says, they're out of the top 10. Will he be here? He's talking smack all year. Come on, William. Where are you? And Rashawn Gillum said it's called adjustments, Goofy. I think he was talking to me when I said I wanted to know what Ryan Day said. I know it's called adjustments. It was tongue-in-cheek. I want to know what he actually said. I want to be in the locker room because I know he wasn't happy with Shea Patterson looking like, I don't want to say Tom Brady. I'm not going to say that name on the show. But you take a Michigan quarterback that was actually somewhat good. That's what Shea Patterson was looking like in the first half.
Well, I can attest a little bit to that and the adjustments. First things first, with Sean Wade not playing, that's a huge blow to our defense and the
Boy,
style that we like to play. So for some reason, we came out in a 4-4-3 defense, meaning 4 linemen, 4 linebackers, and 3 DBs. Now, we pulled that out against Wisconsin because they're a power run team and we'll challenge them to throw the ball. And we're going to see that a lot this weekend. We brought it out against the Wolverines because I guess they thought they were going to try to establish the run. And with Sean Wade not playing, add an extra linebacker in there and we'll play with Okuda and Arnett and Fuller playing center field back there. Well, the Wolverines have been having success through the air really all year, and they came out and showed it. And they asked Jeff Hafley, defensive coordinator, about that yesterday in the press conference, and he said there are no halftime adjustments because it's – and this is really cool for me just as a fan listening. He's talking about how they don't have time to make halftime adjustments. Halftime's only 20 minutes. As soon as that clock hits 0, Hafley's got to take an elevator down to the field level from the press box, and he said sprint about 20 yards to the locker room or whatever and get in, and all hell's breaking loose. Guys are getting taped up, and by the time he gets down there, and it's not like they have 20 full minutes in the locker room. They got to come out with 5 minutes before or whatever, go through a little bit of warm-ups or whatnot. He's like, you only got 10 minutes in there. Like, there's no time to make adjustments at halftime. So anytime the defense does their job and the offense takes over, no matter how it happens, Hafley said, my head goes right down and we start to work our defensive staff. What do we need to fix? What are we seeing? What are we doing on the fly? And we didn't hardly do that at all last year, it seemed like, or the last couple years under Greg Schiano's defense. Mm-hmm. So Hafley making the adjustments on the fly, that way you can sort of implement it. And then once you've made the play calls different, towards the end of the first half, you can reinforce that in the very small amount of time you have in the locker room with the players. I never really thought about that, how short of time you actually have, and you can't get everybody to sit like in a classroom style. Okay, quiet down now, listen up, here's what we're going to do. Like, you don't have time for that. And I really appreciated Jeff Hafley's comments, man. He's been a hell of a hire. And Greg
that's
Madison.
good. That's really good insight. Because in all the movies you see in the football movie, they're all huddled up on the bleachers, and then somebody's getting that rah-rah speech. Now,
Yeah.
what are we going to do? Ah! And then everybody goes out. Hafley's like, well, wait a minute. We ain't got time for that. That's good to hear. I'm glad you're giving us the insight on that. Somebody on YouTube said, what was the name? Mark said, I know he's a Buckeye, but I'll be happy when Pete Werner is gone. He sucks in coverage. Now, Pete Werner, he makes an occasional play. Now, listen, we've been tough on this guy on the show. But listen, I'm extra critiquey on the team up north. But Tough Borland was getting on my nerves Saturday. He was because they were picking on him in the pass game. They seeked him out and they said, where is number 32? Yes, let's throw it at him. And I was losing my mind because you've seen how slow it showed in the passing game, how slow he is. And it's a testament to what you just said, the defense they were running. And they said, okay, run it, and we'll throw at number 32. I don't pick on Pete Werner as much as I do Tough Borland because Pete Werner, he's faster. He can make plays in coverage. Now, obviously, he's not a DB, but Tough Borland is the one that really irks my soul.
Don't give Pete Werner, a hard time because he's doing his job. It's not his job to deflect every ball that's thrown his way, or, you know what I mean? Like, we talked about this last week against the Penn State game because I was hearing mixed reviews about how bad Pete Werner was guarding Freiermuth, the Penn State tight end. And I've also heard how great of a job he did. It's funny to hear those two differing sets of perspectives because it's like, well, if you look at the game as a whole, yeah, Freiermuth had 5, 6, 7 catches for 50, 60 yards, and that was it. I think he had 1 first down, maybe 2, but it's okay to give up the 6-yard pass play to the tight end. He's in position and making the tackle. It's not like Pete Werner's lost. Now, that one play where the Wolverines ran this little tight end wheel route on the play action and Werner got sucked in, that was bad because that bitch went for like 50 yards. And I'm just saying, like, that's a bad play. I'll give you that for sure, but I'm not ready to crucify the Pete Werner just yet. That's one of those chunk plays. Our guy Travis Napper commented, I think biggest takeaways, even with giving up the chunk plays, defense still came up big, not letting it always turn into points. Last year, those drives would have been touchdowns. Great point. I mean, that was something, and we got a little bit lucky, but we would take advantage of every little thing that was given to us in that game. And the Wolverines made, I would say, 3 critical errors. The first one, obviously, is Shea Patterson straight up dropping the snap in the red zone on 3rd down. Just drop the snap like it was a shotgun snap. He is looking for his read too quick, drops the ball. B.B. Landers comes up with it, and Ohio State gets the ball inside our own 20. Wolverines are about to score and maybe tie it up. Instead, we march down the field, but we get stopped. We got to punt. It's 4th and 4. We come out. A captain for the Wolverines jumps off sides, gives us a first down. And I'm thinking, hey, here we go. We march right down and score a touchdown. Now it's a 2-touchdown game because of those 2 errors on one, in a 5-minute span. Like, that's the stuff you can't do if you're going to try and beat Ohio State.
You're right. There's a couple comments I wanted to get to on Facebook. Tavares said tough moves like ice water. And Brad asked, which I've seen a couple about this, I wanted to get to it. Brad asked, is anybody worried about the health of Justin Field if he is limited? Woo.
You want to take that one?
Yeah, I'll take that one. And then over on YouTube, Chris asked, what was the blocking scheme they used on our guy, the Predator, Chase Young? So do you want to take that one?
That'll be a quick one. Then we'll get to you on Fields. I'm not exactly sure why Chase Young was held out of the box score. I mean, he was credited with 2 QB hurries, which he did because he came after Patterson a couple times, one of which Patterson threw off his back foot, somehow completed for a first down early in the game. I was pissed about that, but that's just... Those are the types of plays you see them make in this game. They wouldn't ever make again, but alas, here we are. They did a hell of a job, and it wasn't always like I got to put some blame on Chase too because he was one-on-one decent amount of that game. So I don't know. I mean, he still had an effect on the game, but I was surprised.
For most of the part, they did a good job. Now, there were some holdings that they missed.
Oh, yeah.
There were some holdings. There were some where he got through and then they held for dear life. And the referee said, I don't see anything. I don't see nothing. And I'm like, are you kidding me? That's holding. But I will give credit when credit is due. That was the best job I've seen when there was one-on-one on Chase Young. But he still impacted the game because I think they came out and they said, listen, we are stopping number 2 with our life. And they did it. They didn't do nothing else good. But they did do that. Good job, Team Up North. You stopped Chase Young. That's all you did.
Hey, it's one of those don't let that guy beat us. And they didn't. Just the rest of the talent on our team did.
Now, as far as Justin Fields go, hell yes, I'm worried about his health. Listen, okay, this ain't years past. If he goes down, I'm not this guy that goes next man up. Hell no. Ain't no damn next man up with this team. I don't care what. Can't nobody talk me into it. Well, you don't know what. No. I think we have enough talent. I think he has the throwing ability against Wisconsin. We don't need a read option. Not with his knee the way it is. I read a quote that he said, I think it was on Twitter, I read it. I don't care how much pain I'm in. I'm playing in the Big Ten title. You know what that means to me? He's not 100%. I don't want to see any read option with Justin Fields come Saturday night. You hand it up. Now, of course, they're going to be worried about it because it's Justin Fields. We can fake it all day long. He's not 100%. We've seen what he can do. Not 100%. He came back in that game, rolled to his left, threw a dart to Garrett Wilson, touchdown. Not 100%.
It's his first play back, too.
First play back. I'm worried to death about his health if we want to win a national title. Now, somebody in the chat, even you, Jake, y'all can try to convince me that without Justin Fields, we can win. You can say, look what we did with Cardale Jones. I'm going to tell you, do you see a Cardale Jones as the backup on this team? I don't. I seen Chugginoff come in the game, roll to the right, and miss KJ Hill wide open for a touchdown. He just threw it in the flat. Like, that was his first read, and that's all he was throwing. Now, you can say if he's in practice and he has reps, it'll be different. That's fine, but the run game will be different. They can all just look at JK, stack the box, and just dare Chugginoff to beat him. I'm worried about his health. I think he'll be fine. I just want him in the game. I don't want any read options. I don't want – now, of course, if it's, like, just completely open, take it, fall. But I don't want no direct QB draws. Use your arm talent. Be smart. Be safe. To me, we can beat Wisconsin without him having to run the ball. That's my opinion on that.
I think, yeah, I'm with you there. I definitely think we can beat Wisconsin. It certainly hurts because we kind of turn into a less talented offensive last year if he can't run the ball, because that's what part of the reason why JK's been so good this year is the threat of the Fields run. And especially against a team like Wisconsin with a great run defense, they can just focus all their energy on JK. So I'm excited to see what the offensive coaching staff does this week, because you're right. I don't think they're going to put Fields in any sort of harm's way, and they're going to take his ass out as soon as possible. So I'm sure. I wonder if they go a lot more under center this week, run some like traps, some stretch plays with Dobbins. We were kind of doing that from the shotgun formation a lot against the Wolverines, and it was working very well, but a lot of that is because Fields is carrying out a fake, and they're sticking with him. So a little bit worried about that. I tell you what, though, he's one tough son of a bitch. I mean, I actually went into the other room and sat down by myself with my head in my hands for 3, 4, 5 minutes when Fields went down. I mean, he's writhing on the ground, dude. He's holding his knee. They showed the replay. It looked like a hyperextension. It didn't look, when I saw the replay, it didn't look as bad as I was thinking. So I was thinking, okay, hopefully he's just sit him. We can beat these guys with Chugginoff. Just sit him. And then he starts trotting back onto the field. I'm thinking, who the hell is this guy? He's got a brace on his knee. And the first play we call is a pass play. It breaks down. He rolls out to his left, resets his feet, and just fires an absolute dart to Garrett Wilson. Your guy, by the way.
Yes, sir.
We didn't talk about that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I said he'd have a game. Now, the muff punt, we got to get together. Listen, Mr. Wilson, you're never going to hear this podcast, but hey, I said you'd have a breakout game. I didn't call any yardage, none of that. I just said your name. I said you could have a breakout as a freshman, and you did it. Thank you for making me look good, but we got to stop with the muffs, man. Come on.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit before the show. I mean, put KJ Hill back there, safe hands, just catch the ball and let this great offense go to work. Want to get to some comments here. Scott Ewing says, any truth to Jeff Hafley possibly leaving for Boston College? I did hear that rumor. It would kind of surprise me, but he is a Northeast guy. It's a decent job for him. There's a lot of talent up there. The ACC sucks. I'm sure he could turn that place around fairly quickly. But I haven't heard anything definitive, just some guy on Twitter. And it's possible. It's definitely possible. But I'm really hoping he sticks around for next year, especially considering our entire secondary is leaving for the NFL, and we're going to need some guys to coach them up.
I guess
Stephen Michael, Buckeye Nation, what's up? Jake and Corey, what's up, Stephen? Appreciate you. Jessica Tucker's watching in Clearwater, Florida. Alejandro says, shot at the playoffs is all Georgia can ask for. Terrell Fish says, if Fields not able to play or re-injures his leg, do the backups have what it takes to lead him to a title? This is a different team. It would depend who we would play. If we get in and play the 4 seed, Utah, Oklahoma, whoever it is, I think we'd have a shot at beating those guys. And we might have a shot at beating LSU. I don't know about Clemson, though. Jimmy Shade, what do you think about Clemson? That's the one team I don't want to play. In the first round especially, this is why this weekend's, and I think we can go ahead, we'll transition here to, I guess we were talking about the rankings. I thought we had the other game pulled up still, but Ohio State stayed at 1 in the playoff rankings. Everybody stayed the same in the top 4. Utah jumped up to 5 because we haven't talked about this at all, but Bama lost again, which made me one very happy man.
Where's William?
William Dunn, our resident Bama fan, in the comments saying Ohio State was going to get beat. Bama's going to make the playoffs. I haven't seen him one comment yet. But Bama's long gone. It's nice. Wave them goodbye. This is the first playoff that they're not going to be in 6 years. Thank God. Tired of seeing them. But I'd take them. I mean, I'd rather play them than Clemson.
Yeah, somebody find William for me, please.
Somebody tag him.
Tag him. I got a couple on here on YouTube real fast.
Yeah.
I've been slacking. Mark says we need a heavy dose of Dobbins and Teague when it comes to the running game. I do think they do. Do you think they don't trust? Is it a trust factor with Master Teague? Do you think it is? Because J.K. gets a lot of carries and Master Teague doesn't get a lot. Or do you just think we just love J.K. It's J.K.'s time. Roll, young man, rumble. Because Mark says we need a double heavy dose of Dobbins and Teague. And then Chris on YouTube says, in your opinion, shouldn't we be throwing on first down more?
Well, when you got a guy like Dobbins, you can run all the time on first down, especially because if you're getting 6-7 yards a pop, because that's what he's averaging, I mean, that sets you up real nice. I remember watching the game on Saturday. My dad was pissed they didn't give us a first down, but it was 2nd and inches. I said, give me 2nd and inches over 1st and 10 every day of the week, because then you got every play in your playbook. Take a deep shot. Why not? If it doesn't go, it's still 3rd and 1 or 3rd and inches, but 1st and 10, you don't normally want to set yourself back with 2nd and 10. And when it comes to Dobbins getting a ton of carries, I just think it's because J.K. Dobbins is so damn good, and these guys know it. The staff knows it, and he's finally in a game where we can just ride him. He's the workhorse. It was kind of similar to the end of the 2014 season. When Barrett went down, we just started feeding Zeke Elliott. And it was like, if you give him the ball, we are not losing. Just give his ass the ball 40 times. I don't care what it is. I don't care what it takes. I remember going crazy the night of the national championship game because Zeke was busting him off for 10 yards a pop. And we were still throwing on first down, doing all this different stuff. I understand trying to mix it up a little bit, but they just physically could not stop our running game. And that's the most demoralizing thing for a defense. You just pound it down their throat, man. And J.K. is built for this. This is his style of game, and he's been waiting all year for this type of volume, and he's getting it now, and I think he's going to get it on Saturday night. I would say if the over-under was set on 27.5 carries by J.K. Dobbins, I'm taking the over. They are going to feed him, and I'm all for it, man. I love Master Teague, big Master Teague guy. Next year will be his breakout year. I think you could argue and say that this year was his breakout year when he got his time. But it's just, JK's just too good.
I agree. On the first down part, I would push back just a little bit, just for the fact because you've seen Olave, even though the one hit him right in the face mask, and my soul dropped out of my chest when that happened. But if you play action when JK is just running down their throat, the linebackers now are just like, okay, we got to do what it takes. If you hit them with that play action on first down with our receivers, it's going to work.
Got to set it up, though.
So I think after you're punching them in the face 5 yards to 6 yards at the 5 yards, you hit them with that play action on first down, Olave is going to get past that secondary. Shoot, even Benjamin Victor, even Garrett Wilson will get past that secondary, and it's going to be easy. One was hit for a touchdown. Another one should have been a touchdown. So I think we should do both. Everything is working. I mean, I can't argue with what they're calling at this point. Who am I to be like, hey, you are wrong? But I still think we should hit them with some type of play action on first down just to keep them honest. That's my opinion on that. I think with the question, I think we should hit some play action as well.
Got a good comment from my guy Brady here. Something I wanted to bring up. He says, how big of a win does Ohio State need to secure the 1 seed and not play Clemson in the first round? So let's move over to this gorgeous graphic. Producer G just sent me a text. It is time. Let's talk Wisconsin. The Buckeyes take on the Badgers at 8 p.m. Saturday night. It's on Fox. Big Ten Championship. Pretty cool story on the line. If the Buckeyes win, then they will be the first team in Big Ten history to win 3 consecutive Big Ten championships that are undisputed. So not shared, not anything, no one team had one loss, these 2 teams had one loss, they share the championship. None of that. This would be the first time in Big Ten football history that a team would go 3 straight years undisputed conference champions, and that's pretty damn cool. So to get back to Brady's question, LSU has the bigger game this weekend. They're number 2. They're playing number 4 Georgia. Ohio State's 1. I think they got kind of lucky with Wisconsin getting moved all the way up to number 8. It's the highest 2-loss team. I was kind of surprised that they jumped all the way up to number 8, but I'll take it. It still gives Ohio State a great look to play a top 8 team. Penn State was number 8 when we beat them. Not that that matters now, but they're at number 10 now. But I think Ohio State's got to win this game by 3 touchdowns because I think the committee will want to put the Tigers at number 1. And I don't want any part of Clemson in the first round. How do you feel about that?
I seen a comment that said, who said it? Jeffrey said, yep, we won it, but let's take the hardest route to earn it. I disagree with that comment 100%. Now, listen, we all have our opinions. Hey, if you want the hardest route, that's fine. That's fine. If you told me I could hit a button on my shoulder and I could have 6 packs like LL Cool J, I'm hitting that button right now. Boom, 6 packs. Or you tell me I got to lift weights for 66 years straight. Which one am I going to pick? I'm going to pick the button. That's just me, though. But, hey, it is what it is. But if you tell me we get the number 1 seed and we play Clemson in the national championship, or we got to play Clemson, then play LSU, I'm not picking that one. I'm just saying. That's me. I'll take the 1 seed, play the 4 seed, then let LSU and Clemson fight it out. You fight it out. This is what you play for, to get the easiest route to a championship. But that's just me. Now, when we won the championship, we happened to be the 4 seed. So we had to beat the brakes off Alabama, then beat the brakes off Oregon. That's what we were dealt. But now we're in the driver's seat to be the 1 seed. Let's go take it. And this is why I was mad Wisconsin lost to Illinois. Oh. This reason right here. Now it comes back its ugly head, and Wisconsin's number 8. If they didn't lose to Illinois, we wouldn't be in this predicament maybe.
Dude.
Who knows where they would be at?
They'd be playing for the playoff berth. If they beat Ohio State this weekend and got their revenge, they'd be in, dude. They'd be above Utah. They'd be above Oklahoma. They'd be above all the other one-loss teams, maybe except for Georgia. But that loss to Illinois is just it's brutal. And if their only loss on the season was to Ohio State, who is playing the best football of anybody in the country, they'd be number 5 right now. And if they beat Ohio State on Saturday, they'd be going to the playoff. But they had to lose to Santa Claus Lovie Smith there in Champaign on a cold day in October. I think it was the 19th. Man, what could have been?
Yeah. On YouTube, Chris says sorry, he's not worried about Clemson. Not at all. Hey. I added the not at all part. He just said he's not worried about Clemson. I just threw a little bit of not at all on it. And Mark on YouTube said, what happened to Brendan White? I thought he was going to be a breakout star.
That's a good question, man. I kind of thought the same. I thought Brendan White would have a huge year, especially with the advent of this bullet position, which we really haven't seen much of because our personnel is so damn good. I've heard a little bit of Brendan White just kind of not having the best attitude, not doing the things he's supposed to be doing off the field, which is kind of wild because his father, William White, is a great guy. And I don't know Brendan personally, so I can't speak with any sort of clarity on the situation. And I follow him on Twitter. He's always tweeting Bible verses. He seems like a great guy. So I don't know what the problem is because he was fantastic for us last year. I don't know what Brendan White is, but I tell you what, I bet he gets a shot to make a play. But at the same time, with Shaun Wade going down last week, we played guys like Sevyn Banks and Amir Reep. And Amir Reep, by the way, really came along. I'm excited to see him. He'll probably play a lot next year. He's out of Coleraine in Cincinnati. Struggled early, missed a tackle in the first half, but had a pass breakup on a 4th down and then a really impressive one-handed interception. I thought Brendan White would get his shot last week with Shaun Wade out, and he hasn't. So I don't know. I'm kind of surprised about that. At least
Clyde says, sad thing is, I think LSU will win. If they win, they will have the number 1 seed. Sandra says, Clemson does not play anybody. Why don't they play anybody? And Scott Ewing says, people need to get off Clemson's nuts. Are they good? Yeah, they have played nobody. North Carolina had them dead to rights. Give me Clemson first game for all I care.
Well, I tell you, man, the funny thing is, say we play Clemson and we beat them by double digits. Everybody's going to be saying, well, Clemson didn't play anybody all year. It's like, Clemson is the only... Ohio State and Clemson are the 2 best teams in the country. Clemson's the most complete team other than Ohio State. They're in the top 5 in both scoring offense and scoring defense. And yeah, who they play, the ACC sucks. I'm with you there. They still have a great coach, a great quarterback, a great defense, and a great defensive coordinator who's always scheming different stuff up. I'm not worried about LSU because of their defense or Oklahoma or anybody else we might play, Baylor, Utah, you name them. Clemson, I'd be worried about, which is why you play, like you said, and you made a good point, Corey. It's like you play the whole season for this seeding because you want the number 1 seed. You want the better matchup. It's like March Madness. If you're that damn good in the regular season, you get rewarded by playing, somebody random you didn't even know was a college in the first round as a 16 seed. So Ohio State, I think, has to win by 3 touchdowns because let's get one thing straight. If Georgia somehow beats LSU, they're both in. LSU's not getting left out. LSU would probably be dropped to 4, and Georgia would move up to 3, Clemson 2. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think LSU's going to beat Georgia. I'm not so sure if it'll be a dominant win. The good thing for LSU is that Georgia's offense is garbage. So the whole LSU's defense sucks thing is going to get a lot of holes poked in it on Saturday at 4 p.m., which is a little worrisome to me. Because if LSU beats them 42-10, everyone's going to say, well, how do you not have LSU at number 1? That's when Ohio State needs to come out and beat Wisconsin like 45-14. And if they do that, I don't think you can drop them from the 1 seed, because give me Utah, give me Baylor, give me Oklahoma, whoever it is at number 4, don't give me Clemson. Not yet. I'd love to see Clemson in the title game for all the marbles. Not in the first round. That's just me. That's just me. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments how you think, what you're thinking. Who do you want to play? It's funny, we're talking about the Big Ten championship game and just kind of glossing over the fact that we're playing a top 10 team that's got a great defense and hopefully we'll be in the playoffs. Well, a lot of people are saying even if we lose, we're still going to be put in the playoffs. Who are you going to put over us as a one-loss team? That's a fair point. I think Ohio State takes care of business this weekend and gets it done, though. They're, last I checked, 17-point favorites, I believe. I think that's fair. I think it's always tougher to beat a team twice in the second go round, but especially with Justin Fields not being able to move around as much, I think we might struggle offensively early on. But we'll settle in. Hey, Justin Fields said after the Wisconsin game, if the weather wasn't so bad, we could have put 50 on him. Well, weather won't be bad. You didn't say if I got a bum knee, we won't put 50 on him. So, hey, give me that 50 spot on the Badgers. We need to see it. I don't want to play Clemson. How do you feel about that?
Well, I'm going to get to that just a second. I got to say this. Mark brought it up on YouTube, and I'm a man of my word. First, he said we owe Dabo something about him I don't like. But he also said, big shout out to Damon Arnett. He really irked my nerves last year, but he's been balling. I want to send a public apology to Damon Arnett. Now, I roasted this guy last year and the beginning of this year.
Yep.
Talked about him. Maybe called him a couple names I shouldn't have. But he has balled out this year. He was a bold prediction that was correct. A pick 6 in Indiana. He's been playing with a broken hand, breaking up passes. If he had that hand, probably would have a couple more interceptions. Yep. Shout out to that guy. He's been a beast this year. Has proven me wrong. I know my apologies mean absolutely nothing to him, but to clear my conscience as a stand-up guy, sorry to you, sir. I was incorrect. Way to come back and be a beast this year in the secondary. Now, my guy, Damon Arnett. Now, as far as Wisconsin goes, listen, it's the same old story. You make them throw, end of story. That's all you have to do. In the rain, we beat them down. Now there's no weather. We got to worry about a knee. Now, you have to worry about every game. I'm not going to go out here and say, well, there's nothing to worry about. There's no guaranteed win in football. It's hard to beat a team twice in the same season. It just is. But from what I've seen from this Ohio State team, it's hard for me to believe that this Wisconsin team that I have seen, offensively, they just don't have the passing game that scares me, that tells me that they're going to score enough points to stop our offense. Because they're going to have to hold us to what would you say, 20 points to win? Because Jonathan Taylor's not going to score 38 himself. That's not going to happen. And they can say, well, the rain's why we didn't. Okay, that's what you want to believe. That's fine with me. And every time I watch this offense, I get more confident by the second. And I know Justin Fields is under 100%, but the way J.K. Dobbins is running that football and the way the line is just manhandling defensive lines, pushing back linebackers. Sometimes he doesn't get touched till he gets to the second level. In Michigan, I seen the comment in here. I forget the name. If you could make the comment again, I would appreciate it. Trying to steal J.K. Dobbins' shoes. I didn't forget, all right? You want to be that tacky You want to take off a man's shoes? That's how pathetic you are as a college, as an institution of higher learning. That's the best you can do is untie a man's shoes. You can't tackle him. You can't stop him. You know you're not going to win. Here's what we can do. We can untie his shoes. We can pull a J.R. Smith. You suck. So at least we don't have to worry about that because Wisconsin has a little more class than the team up north. They're not going to try to take off the man's shoes because that's the only thing we can stop them. They try to get him to go out for a play is taking the man's cleats. Unbelievable.
I couldn't believe that, dude.
I've never seen nothing like it.
Me neither.
I've seen Clemson grab for balls. I've
Yep.
seen that. But you're going to tie a man... I don't know what else to say, man. They're just they're pathetic. They're just, I mean, yeah, I got nothing to say about that team. But when it comes to this game, until Wisconsin, if they could find another Russell Wilson in the transfer portal, that's when I'll start to really get worried about them because you only could be a one-trick pony for so long.
Yep. What I want to clarify a little, one of my worries in this game, and people are, I think, forgetting a little bit, is this rematch. This is a rematch of a really hard-fought game that got away from the Badgers earlier this year. We kind of poured it on late. This was a 10-7 ball game in the third quarter, dude. I mean, I was really nervous about this one on October 26th. It was. And, I mean, it was 10-7 in the third quarter, man. Yeah, we pulled away late, and their only points came because they blocked a punt and got it in close. And, by the way, their touchdown pass was thrown to the wrong guy, and somehow Sean Wade and Jeff Okuda couldn't come up with it. It was the perfect rainbow. I don't know how the hell that happened, but it did. And it was 10-7 in the third quarter. This is a very, very close game, I think, at least until halftime. Because it comes down to Fields for me. It comes down to his knee. Are they going to, if they run him 5-6 times in the first half, I think we'll be just fine offensively. But at the same time, if you're Ryan Day, you're thinking, I just want to get to the playoffs healthy. I'm not going to worry about who we play, where, when we do, and he doesn't do that. At least he says he doesn't do that. He just takes it one day at a time, one game at a time. And if that's the idea, he'll be happy with a low-scoring victory. Yeah. With Justin Fields not running the ball, J.K. Dobbins getting 30 carries for 100 yards. By the way, that's not a good game. Any Wolverine fans here in the comments section? Because their backs would get 30 carries and go for like 115 all year. Like, that's not good. That's not even 4 yards a carry. So I think they'll be just fine, just content to keep it down a notch. We'll take it easy. We'll go into the playoffs healthy. I think that's all he wants at this point. But he surprised me. He surprised me. So maybe we come out and we pour it on. Because I think we need to pour it on if we're gonna keep that one seed.
Yeah, you never know. Like I said, you can't overlook anything. And I'm not one to do it. But if I'm just going off what I have seen from both teams, I mean, hey, Wisconsin's going to have to change something up. Can't be a one-trick pony forever. But like I said, against Penn State, Ryan Day, he fooled us, didn't he? He just reined in that playbook and said, that's enough of that for whatever reason. So you don't know what could happen. You never know. But maybe my confidence is too high. We'll see. We don't know what Fields' knee, that rhyme, didn't try to. But I like Ohio State in this game. I don't know by how much yet, but I like them.
Well,
and I think we win.
I think we win too. And we're about 10 minutes away here, so might as well come on down and start talking bold predictions, score predictions. So let us know in the comments, folks. Score predictions, bold predictions. Also, share this Share this show to your favorite Buckeye groups. Help us get a little bit of notoriety around these parts. Appreciate that if you would. And go to our YouTube page, Everything Buckeye Nation. Subscribe. But when it comes down to this game, they've been talking about taking it one game at a time all year. And Ryan Day's preaching, hit the finish line. Just get to the finish line. This is the finish line. The whole regular season is over with. You got a shot at the conference championship. Cross the finish line, and then you won't play for another 3 or 4 weeks. 4 weeks it is, I believe. Maybe 3. Either way, plenty of time off, plenty of time to figure everything out then. Hit the finish line, and then we can relax for at least a little bit. Maybe a day or two. Maybe not. Ryan Day said as soon as their tour bus left that state up north, or the team bus, I guess I should say, as soon as they re-entered Ohio, he said it was on to Wisconsin. So here we are. We're on to Wisconsin, a team that we beat 38-7 earlier this year. And yeah, that score looks really good when you look at it that way, but it was a 10-7 ball game in the third quarter. And we were, going a little bit conservative offensively, but we had everybody at full strength. That's not necessarily the case this week with Fields' knee. He's got that sprained MCL. I think if he plays safe on Saturday night, he'll be just fine and ready to go for the semifinals. But if we try and go too crazy, maybe he gets hit in a weird way and he really goes down. I mean, man, I thought he was down for good against the Wolverines. I thought that was it. So I don't want to see that. I don't want to see Fields laying on the ground one bit. A key to the game for me is the offensive line and J.K. Dobbins, because they're going to be focusing so hard on J.K., knowing that Fields isn't going to run the ball. And maybe we just go play action, go over the top. Their DBs aren't better than our receivers. Maybe Fields throws for 300 yards, and we're sitting here a week from tonight laughing our asses off. What do you think? How are you thinking about this game right now?
Well, first of all, if I had an alarm sound, I would make it. William Dunn has showed up in Facebook. He has Auburn. I think he lost a bet or something because he has an Auburn thing now.
Yep.
I think he's a little tongue-in-cheek now saying we're the best team in the nation. No. I don't want to hear none of that talk now. No. Keep the same energy, but I'm glad you're back. We were wondering where you were at. We were calling for you because you were missing, but glad that you made it. Hey, I can respect that, though.
Hell yeah.
I respect that because I told you when I'm wrong, I come and I admit it. I suck, and I will say it on camera. Trash. Unlike Desmond Howard, where are you at? I'm still waiting for you, sir.
You're not the only one.
But let's get to Wisconsin. We got a couple here. Chris said 62-24, Ohio State. Mark said 52-17. Chris also said he likes J.K. shoe game. Cheryl said, I agree with Chris. Got to get past Wisconsin. Chris said, don't look past Wisconsin. And she also said, Corey, the defense better handle their part. My thoughts on this game, I kind of agree with you, Jake. I think they're going to go into this game to shut down J.K. Dobbins. That's what I believe. They seen what happened to Justin Fields. I think they're going to say, okay, listen, this J.K. guy, he's pretty darn good, all right? He's pretty good. Let's shut him down. Let's make Justin Fields beat us from the pocket. Let's make him beat us with his arm. We're not worried about him running. He's hobbled until he shows us he can run. Let's make him beat us from the pocket, and then if he runs, they'll adjust from there. So with that being said, I think Justin Fields lights them up. I think we come out a little slow like we usually do. We never just come out and just from the gates. Never. We just never do. We slow off, and then we put it on them. I think we come out slow. Justin Fields lights them up. I think he just does, and I think we win the ball game 41-17. Justin Fields, he goes for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Woo!
Bold prediction.
Reserve him a seat in New York, baby.
That's my bold prediction. Because I think now, I could be totally wrong if they don't focus on JK. Now, if they just run the same defense that everybody else has been running, my prediction goes down the toilet. But I think they focus on JK Dobbins and make Justin Fields with his bum knee beat him with the arm.
I like it, man. I really do. I'll get to a few comments here before I go in. David Campbell says 35-24 Bucks. Brian Steven 42-21. Brandon Caputo 42-17. Chris Lyons 42-13. My mom says Chase Young totally balls out after last week. Man, he's got to be pissed off, and he had 4 sacks last time he played Wisconsin. David Campbell makes a good point. Could be a Bama versus Wolverines bowl. I tell you what, I'd be watching that. Number 1 supporter Josh Robideau says 45-10. Brad Kerner 56-10, and Dusty Caudill 48-3. I'm gonna go a careful approach this week. Normally, it's not the case. I tend to go on the higher scale, more points, but not this time. I'm gonna say this is a low-scoring affair. I'm gonna give the Buckeyes the win, but I'm gonna say it's 31-16. I think it's a little bit closer. I think Wisconsin may try and go for 2 at some point and not get it. I just think this is going to be a closer game than we saw in late October, even though we're on basically a track, indoors. It's about time after playing the Wolverines and Penn State and all these other games with gross weather. It's all indoors from here on out. Big Ten title, either semifinal and the championship game are all indoors. So let our athletes out and run, man. Get them out in space, like you said, Fields. Dude, let Fields just throw bombs all day. Chris Olave, KJ Hill. How about Ben Victor? He's a good deep threat. All kinds of guys, all kinds of receivers could be upwards of 100 yards this week and yada, yada, yada. But I do think Wisconsin slows everything down. And I'm going to say 31-16. Bold prediction is one of those touchdowns is on defense. And I'm going to give it to, drum roll please, because I haven't figured it out yet in my head, Jordan Fuller. I said it last week, Jordan Fuller would have a pick. He did not. I'm doubling down on my guy, number 4, Jordan Fuller, with a defensive touchdown. Buckeyes 31-16. I could easily see it being a 49-10 game, and I sure as hell hope it does end up that way, because if so, I think the Bucks take the 1 seed, and we'll be very happy going into the semifinals.
I like it. Big C Got Game entered the comments on YouTube. Fellas, what's good? He said, I say Ohio State 52-0. Wait a minute. That already happened. I'll go 53-0. LOL.
That's our guy. Big C Got Game. Go follow him on YouTube. Subscribe to him as well. All kinds of good football and really just video game content. My particular favorite, NCAA 14. The Road to Glory's Danny Mac. Good stuff. Go follow him.
You know he's going to go nuts if they approve college football, the new stuff.
Bro, I'm going to go nuts. You kidding me? I'll buy a new console. I'll drop whatever it takes to get that new game, man. And this will be a good off-season topic, Corey. This will be a good off-season topic. What do you want to see in the new NCAA football games when they come out? Because you got to have the playoff. You got to have the transfer portal. Oh, man. I mean, it's going to get good.
We got to talk about it, but they need a My Player like NBA 2K, the college edition. They need a full My Player.
Full in-depth, not just playing the games. You got to have every bit of it.
I want to wake up. I want to go to class. I want to fail. I want to do it all.
Yeah. In one of the games, NCAA 05 or 06, they had, when you created a player, you had to pick a major. And when you could pick an easy, a medium, or a hard major. And whatever you did, you had to go to class, you had to take tests, and if you did better, they'd give you attribute bonuses based on how hard your major was. If you took something like general studies, like everybody does for the Wolverines, you get like +1 to your overall or something. But if you're taking like calculus and you ace the test, that's like +5 and all attributes. Like, that's what's up, dude. You got to go to class. You got to do all the stuff the student athlete does, man. Volunteer, meet girls, go to practice. I want it all, man. I'm telling you.
Right. I don't want no beginning or nothing. I just wanted to say NCAA. Don't waste no waste nothing on that. Just NCAA. That's all it needs to say. Put everything in the game. But we can get on that later. So.
Yeah, that'll be a good off-season topic when we're celebrating the Buckeye National Championship. Few other comments, score predictions here. Richard Cook says 35-10. My mom says, I'd like to see Fields come out and run right away, mess with their heads a little bit. I love that. If he takes he could take the first read option of the game 25 yards, and we'd be sitting there thinking, all right, I guess we're okay.
All right.
They wouldn't be keying on JK too much after that. Stephen Michael, 31-14. Dusty Caudell says, indoors makes us more dangerous. Totally agree. Stephen Michael, capable of scoring 56. Mom says, get the tight ends involved. Love that, man. We threw to them a lot the first few games, and then it's just fallen off the map. Brad Kerner says, KJ Hill, 4 touchdowns. That is a bold prediction. Josh Robidoux says big time recruiting, decommits, everything. Yeah, man, you gotta have in the new NCAA game, you gotta have decommits because your position coach took another job at another school, something like that. You gotta make that shit in depth, bro.
Just call it never mind. I'll let that go. I was gonna say call it the Tate rule, but I'm just gonna. No,
transfer portal sponsored by Tate and Martell.
My mom over on YouTube just threw a grenade in the comments. Cheryl says, sorry, all of you are taking Wisconsin too lightly. Shake my head. They have a bone to settle. And she says, I pray Field stays all right. We all pray.
I sure hope so, man.
We're not taking them lightly. It's just that unless Russell Wilson goes walking through that door, I just think Jonathan Taylor only can do so much.
Jack Cohn, make him throw the ball, man. That's how Illinois beat them. Make him
I know.
throw the
I
ball.
watched the game, and I was absolutely upset.
I tell you, man. Stephen Michael says, I know I say it all the time. I love the show. You guys are great. Stephen, we appreciate you more than you know, man. Really, truly do. Obviously, we wouldn't be up here without fan interaction and people watching. So
without you guys,
graciously.
Talking to ourselves. My guy, Scott Ferguson, in the building. What's up, Scott? He says, Corey on the sidelines doing what he does best, the hype man. They don't put me on the sidelines. They would get me off camera real quick.
Hey, Corey, can we put you at the games instead of the Buckeye guy and the big nut? Can we just get you on all those ESPN promos?
I wish, man.
One of these days. Well, to recap, folks, I've got the Buckeyes winning 31-16. Bit of a closer call than we'd like. Corey says 41-17.
I think we come off slow as usual. Wisconsin, they're going to put up a fight. They're going to come out. It's going to be slow as usual. I think we pull away. That's what I think. But like I said, you never know. But that's just what I believe. I don't think Russell Wilson's walking through that door, and I only think Jonathan Taylor can do so much.
Taylor looks good, except against the Buckeyes. We'll see what he does this week. That could have been another bold prediction. Taylor under 75 yards, something like that. I wouldn't be surprised, especially if we get up early and they got to throw the ball. That's not what they do. So we shall see. Charles Terry says, so glad to see you guys. You make my day getting ready for the game Saturday. Appreciate that, Charles.
Appreciate that.
We are glad to be here. And Kevin Bryan says, should they hold Justin Fields out to get healthy? Let Chugginoff play until it gets bad?
No.
He's going to play.
Then that's called taking Wisconsin too lightly.
Mm-hmm. We might get beat if we put Chug in there.
No, we will get beat. Sorry, no disrespect to Chuck. I'm just, no.
It's not going to happen. But if we're up 3 touchdowns at halftime and then we go out and score a 4th, I think Fields is done. And
I'm not
I'll
going
be
to say
okay
nothing.
with that.
I'm not going to say nothing. I don't see that happen, but you never know. I didn't think our backups would get in against a team up north. I didn't see that happening. So
that's true. We did hang 56 on them.
Yeah.
Boy, was that nice. Well, that's bragging rights for another 364 days. I guess down to about 360.
And Scott is being disrespectful to Wisconsin. This is brought to you by Scott Ferguson, not me. He says, can we start the 3rd string? That's disrespectful. I will not go that far.
Yeah, I'm not going that far either. Take care of business. Beat the Badgers. Do it in good enough fashion to where we land that number 1 seed, because whether it's Oklahoma, Utah, Baylor, I would much rather play them than Clemson. So, it was also brought to my attention last week I didn't do my normal sign off with the OH. I blew it last week, and I said if we lost, I would take the blame and put it on myself. Instead, we went out and beat them by 29, which is more than we beat them by last year. So, feeling pretty good about myself.
Real quick, I'm sorry. Big C got a quick question. Who would you rather see, Utah or Oklahoma?
Utah.
Utah. I second.
But as quickly as I said that, they're 2 different teams, obviously. I think Ohio State would eventually figure out Utah easier than Oklahoma. Utah has a hell of a defense, and everybody talks about their defense. Their offense is outstanding. Quarterback Huntley, their tailback's a beast. They got a lot of talent, and their only loss was to USC way back. I mean, like 8 weeks ago. Since then, they've only allowed like 1 touchdown by their first team defense. I mean, that's crazy, man. In 8 weeks, all their games are like 35-3. They're looking like Clemson out there. Utah looks good, man, and they're getting disrespected by Paul Feinbaum. Man, I can't stand that guy. But everybody's disrespecting Utah. They get the first shot, man, if they go out and beat the piss out of Oregon on Friday night, because their game's Friday night.
I'll tell you this.
Game Friday night. If Utah goes out there and wins by 3 touchdowns and looks damn good, then it's on Oklahoma and Baylor to be like, shit, we got to beat the piss out of each other to make a statement to even jump them. I would rather play Utah because I think our athletes are far superior to theirs, and our scheme would figure out a way to take care of business. Now, Jalen Hurts and CeeDee Lamb in that Oklahoma offense.
I was just about to say that. Utah don't have a CeeDee Lamb. That's all I'm going to say.
There you go.
That dude is something else. I'll pass. Give me Utah.
I don't want any part of CeeDee Lamb, although it would be pretty sweet to see him and Jeff Okudah lined up all game.
Not for me.
Just as a football fan. That'd be nice. But I would much rather see Utah. That being said, I'm not afraid of Oklahoma. If we play, because they might just put Oklahoma in if they both win by the same margin and nobody really dominates to take full advantage of it. They'll probably put Oklahoma in because it's a bigger name.
No. Oklahoma's getting the 4 seed if they win. Oklahoma's getting the 4 seed. Utah got to win like 73-6, and then Oklahoma has to squeak by.
I don't know, man. The Utes.
I'm going to ask you this. Who's Utah's quarterback?
Tyler Huntley.
You know that, right? Ask somebody on the street. Then ask them who's Oklahoma's quarterback. I bet you they know it within 10 seconds.
I tell you what, I'm glad you asked me who their quarterback was and not any other person on their team.
My point exactly. CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Hurts. Woo! Come on. I'm just saying.
Kenneth Murray's a great defender, too, at linebacker. He'll be a first-round pick. But much rather face Utah. Hell, maybe Baylor beats Oklahoma. Maybe Oregon beats Utah and Baylor beats Oklahoma and we get Baylor. Just saying.
Hey.
That's what this weekend's all about, man. It's exciting. Ohio State takes care of business. They're the late game. So watch everything else. Enjoy the build-up because you're not shitting your pants about Ohio State has to win this game or else. Because regardless of Saturday night, unless we get beat 59-0, we're in. Somehow we're in at some place. Just give us a shot. That's fine. So it's kind of a nice feeling to have. Watch every other game. See what you think. Who's going to play in that 4 spot. And then maybe Ohio State goes out and earns it Saturday night. And we get Utah, Baylor, or Oklahoma. And I would be one happy man if that were the case. I tell you that much.
Yes, sir.
You got anything else for us, Corey?
There's a lot of comments coming in. I'll read them off. I'll read some real quick. Kevin just says they don't have Hurts either. Scott asked, do we seriously have 3 Heisman candidates? And Charles says, I want our boys to put up 55 on Saturday. They're not sending 3 people to New York from Ohio State. That's not going to happen. That's just my opinion. I think if they send 1, it'll be Chase Young just because he's been there all year. They disrespect J.K. Dobbins all year. They're going to continue to disrespect him. And I think unless Justin Fields throws for like 500 yards, he hasn't played full games all year to get sent to New York. And they've had Chase Young all year. I don't see him sending 3 to New York, but that's just me.
That'd be a good topic too. I mean, who's your pick for the Heisman out of those 3? Like if you had to pick, I mean, Chase Young's clearly the most dominant player in college football, but he also didn't have a tackle against the Wolverines last week. Justin Fields has thrown 37 touchdown passes and 1 pick. He's also ran for 10 touchdowns. He's got 47 touchdowns and 1 pick. That's outrageous, especially without playing in hardly any second half. J.K. Dobbins is the second all-time leading rusher in Ohio State history. He's having a crazy year. He's had a better year than Jonathan Taylor in terms of yards per carry, and he's got Justin Fields scoring 47 touchdowns. I mean, that's a hell of a debate. We could go on for another hour about that.
Yeah, we might have to do it next week.
Hey, might have to. That'll be a good time for it. That'll be a good time for it. A few other comments here before we sign off. Scott Ferguson said, okay, maybe second string, not third string. David Diaz says, go Bucks. Stephen Michael's bold prediction is 5 sacks for Chase Young. Kevin Bryan's wondering about that 4th spot. Man, who knows? It's all up. He says Baylor's not going down this time. Go Bears. I like that. Austin Merrill says, everybody's sleeping on Georgia. That's fine, man. I mean, go beat LSU. I'd be all right with that. And Kenneth Justice, Ohio State is going to be Big Ten and national champs this year. I love that. That's something we didn't talk about was how Ryan Day won the Big Ten Coach of the Year award. First Ohio State head coach to win it since 1979. That's not a joke. It's been 40 years since Ohio State had the Coach of the Year in the Big Ten. Not even the country, the Big Ten. 40 years. Absolutely outrageous. Congrats to Ryan Day. And Justin Fields was named Offensive Player of the Year in the conference. Chase Young named Defensive Player of the Year in the conference. It's the first time ever in the Big Ten with a clean sweep, the Coach of the Year and the Offense and Defensive Player all on the same team. First time ever. It's a special season for these Buckeyes, man. I tell you.
Yes, sir. And they got a couple more on YouTube, and then we can head out. Chris said Feinbaum can hear everything. Ohio State. He also said Ohio State could beat anybody in the nation. And Big C said, I would love to see JK go, but I think it's too QB heavy. And JK got disrespected for best back in the Big Ten.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier.
Yes, sir.
Heading into the Ohio State-Wisconsin rematch, J.K. Dobbins, who had 200 yards, and Jonathan Taylor, who had 60 yards, they gave Jonathan Taylor the Big Ten Back of the Year award. I think J.K. is going to have something to say about that on Saturday night, and I'm looking forward to it. That was his whole thing in the first game. Like, I got to show why I'm better than Jonathan Taylor. And he, tripled his yardage.
Yep.
I guess it didn't make much of a difference to the voters, but he'll get another shot on Saturday night. And that's about it, man. That's all I got. Laura BP says she will stream live for the people that can't watch because she is an angel. Appreciate that because we can't stream the game here or we would get like I like to say, shut down quicker than I did in middle school. Kevin Bryant, is this the best Buckeyes team ever? We can talk about that next week. Michael Rauda Bush, Dobbins always get disrespected. I think he likes it that way because he is running. Man, did you see his eyeballs after he fumbled that first carry and took it 40 yards?
Yeah, man.
Woo! I tell you what, he was ready to go, as was I. Buckeyes take on the Badgers, 8 p.m. Saturday night on Fox. Don't miss it. We'll be around here. Maybe do a little something Saturday before the game. Maybe something Sunday, because Selection Sunday is Sunday at noon, man. We make our prediction. We're going to know Sunday at like 12:15 or 12:30 where we are in the playoffs. So I'm sure we'll have something for that. We might go live. We'll see. We'll figure it out. But either way, appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight. Give us a like and a share. Share us with your friends, especially subscribe to our YouTube page, Everything Buckeye Nation. We're on Twitter and Instagram as well. You can find us. You know how to work those social media sites. But that's all we got for tonight. For producer G putting the whole thing on, that's Corey Boyd. I'm Jake Smith signing off saying go Bucks and OH.
I-O.
Wasn't going to forget this time. See you later.